Hello, good evening, and welcome to Monkeys with Fire. How's everybody tonight? Hope you're all well. Hope you've started the week in a pleasant way. So, we are going to be spending the week dealing with the apocalypse. We're going to be taking a look at supplements for 2 gaming systems, but with an apocalyptic theme. So, what are we going to take a look at this evening? We are going to be heading out into the Wastelands as we take a look at the Wanderer'S guidebook for Fallout, the role-playing game from MODIPHIUS Entertainment. Of course, at this time, the Fallout television series is available on Amazon Prime. Everyone's getting back into Fallout, and of course this is a perfect opportunity for us to go and take a look at one of the available supplements to deep dive a little bit further into what the game has to offer. Of course, as always, we'll point out that there may be some spoilers during tonight's show, so if you are a player, then you might want to avoid having aspects of the game potentially ruined for you. If you are a GM, then I'm sure you'll want to continue watching to get all that great information. I will point out, of course, that I used to do role-playing game when I was back in my college days. I've been spending this past year or so taking a look at all of the available role-playing game systems that are out there, seeing how much they have changed over the years. I am by no means an expert, but if you do have any questions, either put them into the live chat now or leave a comment on the video, and I will do my best to answer them for you. And of course, I would like to say thank you to our friends at MODIPHIUS Entertainment for providing the 2 products we'll take a look at on tonight's show. So let's go to the table and see what we've got. Alright, so before we actually take a look at the Wanderer'S guidebook, I wanted to share with you this other supplement that you can get for your Fallout games, and that of course is the GM's screen, which has some beautiful artwork on it, and of course then lots of handy tables for the GM. In addition to that, there is a booklet which is all about building scavenging locations, and of course that's one of the core aspects of the Fallout game, finding these unique and interesting dungeons for your players to explore. So let's take a look at those briefly. So we have the GM screen with this beautiful artwork. Let's fold it out here. I'm going to do it the wrong way, of course. There we go. I will have to do it in a sort of panoramic view, so that you can appreciate everything. Of course, that's the great thing about the Fallout universe, is that there is so much amazing artwork available for the developers to draw from. So of course, we got some power armor in the workshop there, along with a whole host of different scavenged and cobbled together weapons and a workbench, and some trusty Nuka-Cola. Can't go into the Wasteland without it. But of course, what's important is all of the tables that are available on the reverse for the GM. So let's take a look. And I guess this does cover all of the major points. What do we have? Action points in combat, hit locations, weapon range and difficulties, damage effects. We then have injury recovery difficulty, minor actions, healing actions in combat, critical hits and injuries, major actions. And then finally, on the final section, weapon qualities, hunger states, and thirst states. And of course what's really helpful is it has all of the page references to the core book, so you can quickly reference them if you do require any more information. Alright, so that is the screen. Let's actually take a look then at the booklet. So I believe this is some 20 pages worth. Yep. And of course, it's laid out in a familiar format as to the core book. And what this does is it pulls all of the rules together for scavenging from the core book and from, I believe it's the GM's toolkit. So it just puts it all into one useful place. And I like how it lays things out here, determining the size of the location initially, inhabitants and obstacles and hazards that might be in that location. And then of course we get to the loot tables. This is what we really want, isn't it, of course? So the different types of ammo that might be found, or armor or clothing. What kind of food? Lamco brand mac and cheese. We have some beverages. Of course with Nuka-Cola. What chems we might find. And then of course weapons. Melee weapons, along with explosives, and then oddities and valuables. And of course, a large amount of junk. And then, basically, it goes through creating the scavenging location. So, creating a location can be done in a short series of steps. What is the location? So decide on the basic concept of what a location represents. How much has it been searched? So is it brand new, untouched, or has it already been searched numerous times and there are slim pickings available? What is the risk and reward? Determine the location's level. Level will dictate how difficult or dangerous any hazards or occupants are to overcome, but it will also affect the quality of the loot found within the location. And then what problems are there? Determine if the location is occupied, if there are any hazards present, and or if there are any obstacles that make it harder to access the location. So location scales, we go from tiny, small, average and large. So for example, a small scale location would be a room, and there might be a total of 12 items within. And then from that, we are able to determine, depending on the type of category of location, so be it residential or commercial, industry, medical, agriculture or military, it then breaks down the types of items that will be available, and depending on the size of the location there is a multiplier. So for example, at a commercial location like the shops or restaurants, then you're going to have 1 food, 1 beverage, 2 junk and 2 other. Whereas a military location would be ammunition, armor, clothing, weapons and other. And the other is a random roll with your d20. So it just gives a little bit of randomness, bit of variety into what might be found at the location. And then degree of search. depending on whether the location has been untouched or partly searched, all the way up to heavily searched, will determine how much of a reduction actually occurs to the location. I like this. I think this is great. As I say, this is just compiling all of the rules together that have been available in the core book and in the GM's toolkit. But this is very handy, and considering this is an element that probably GMs are going to use quite a lot. You're going to want to have lots of locations, and you want to be able to generate a location pretty quickly if your players decide to just go and have a little bit of a wander. And this allows you to do that with relative ease. So that is quickly the Games Masters screen. Alright, let's take a look then at the Wanderer'S Guidebook. So, here we are. It is a hard-covered book. Let's just go through the back here, just so we get an idea of what's going to be contained within. So, explore the unknown. Create new characters from brand new origins, including the Brotherhood Outcast, Child of Atom, Nightkin, robots, and more. Scavenge anywhere in the Wasteland with pre-built locations, or use them to create your own. Spend your luck for chances at more loot. Get ahead of the competition with 54 brand new perks. Become fireproof. Fight like a gladiator. Work those healing hands or become a natural born survivor. Remember, everyone, why you're special. Loads of new equipment just waiting to be found in the Wasteland. Create your own legendary weapons and armor. Introducing vehicles and new rules to tear across the wastes. Roll in style in a Chrysalis cherry bomb or soar the skies in a vertibird. Create unforgettable legendary foes and creatures with new optional rules. Evolve your enemies with the new legendary abilities that mutate as the fight goes on. That's going to be interesting. And then face off against a myriad of new creatures and foes from cryptids, mutated experiments, and iconic factions across the east and west coasts. So, there's definitely a lot in this book. This is Guidebook 2. There is a Guidebook 1. I think that looks at scavenging. So let's jump on in. Of course, it has amazing artwork throughout, as you come to expect. Starting off with an introduction, going through what the book actually contains. So, Chapter 1, Wanderer Origins. Chapter 2, Scavenging, so we're getting a little bit more detail on that. So it does work well with the GM screen there. Chapter 3, New Perks. Chapter 4, Equipment. And then Chapter 5, Bestiary. We've got a good selection of topics. Let's take a look at Wanderer characters. So when you choose your origin while creating your character, you can select an origin from the following options in addition to those offered in the core rules. So these are brand new character origins beyond what are available in the core rules. And of course, if you have played the games of Fallout, then you probably recognize some of these. So we have the Assaultatron, giving you a little bit of background information on it there. Talking about its weapons, claws, Assaultatron, head laser, and self-destruct. I'm not quite sure if I was a player character and I had a self-destruct. You explode and are destroyed in the process. You cannot be repaired. Wow. That's quite an interesting character to play. We have a Brotherhood Outcast. For all their heroic imagery, all their pomp and circumstance, the Brotherhood of Steel are not the good guys. Yes, I think we might have got a little bit of a taste of that when we were watching the Fallout TV series. Child of Atom. Radiation is a gift from Atom, your atomic god, and you gladly share that gift with the Commonwealth. So some of these I'm familiar with when I played Fallout on, I think it was the Xbox 360. I played Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. So we got Nightkin. 100 years ago, Nightkin were the epitome of the super mutant species, the peak of the Master's work with forced evolutionary virus, and his chosen soldiers answering only to their creator. Tribal, inhabiting broad communities composed of families with no distinct cultural identity. Tribal Wastelanders inhabit the wastelands outside some of the more formalized states like the NCR. That might be an interesting character. And there are different tribes that the tribal Wastelanders can be part of. But traits here, you may choose 2 of the following traits. 2 traits from the Survivor Origin and 1 trait from either this list, the Survivors list or the New California Republic list. Mother Wasteland, Nomad, Rite of Passage, Tools of the Old World, the Chosen One. This is interesting, so here we go. Many of the traits outlined in the Tribal Origin mention different rites and ways of viewing the post-nuclear world in a more mythical way. While the Church of the Children of the Atom could well be described as a tribe, their behaviour and zealousness, get that right, strays more into a cult. The tribes of survivors found across the wasteland root their understanding in the world and their place in it in myth and spirituality. So we got the Boomers, descendants of the inhabitants of Vault 34, that believe in the personal liberty to bear arms. Cult of the Mothman, the tribal followers of the cryptid Mothman in Appalachia, have technically existed in various forms even before the Great War. The Tree Binders. Tree Minders occupy a small, fertile area of the capital wasteland they call Oasis. And the Vipers. The Vipers trace their origin from Vault 15, which they left to explore the wastes. We've got this great piece of artwork here of what look like 2 huge snakes. But then saying that, it is just 1 snake, isn't it? 1 snake, 2 heads. Oh goodness. So it is giving us our equipment for the various classes, depending on what you might have chosen. So the Assaultron, we have the US military model, and the Assaultron Devil, or the Robotic Caravan Guard. Various options. Brotherhood Outcast is an X-Knight or an X-Scribe. The X-Scribe could be an interesting one. Again, following the path of the TV show. Child of Atom, Missionary or Zealot. The Super Mutant is Nightkin. And then the Tribal, we have Modernist, Ritualist, Naturalist. This gives us our equipment for each of those origins. So we go on to Chapter 2, Scavenging. So in addition to the scavenging rules presented in the Roleplaying Game Core Rulebook and the Games Masters Toolkit, And also, of course, as we've seen in the GM screen, the rules here present a quick and easy method of introducing interesting scavenging locations to your players with pre-built locales and scavenging tables. So, what do we have here? We have Red Rocket. Red Rocket service stations can be found close to most old towns and major roads, directly connected to trade routes and other often travelled places. So this gives you a potential location and then gives you all the little details you need to populate that location. We have our obstacles and threats. We have nested areas. So it might be that your location is a large location to which then you have smaller locations within, which are individual rooms, and maybe then there is a tiny location which could be a safe, and that's how you break down various locations into more manageable areas for searching. And the types of loot that you might find. So what do we have? We have some oddities, weapons, clothing, food, giving us a bit of an example. We've got a safe key, some deluxe toolkits, a buzzsaw, utility overalls, sugar bombs and sweet rolls of food, some dirty water, and maybe some Nuka cherry. We've then got a super mutant camp. And it's giving us a level on how difficult some of these locations might be. And a little bit of background, so it really does help the GM out. Poseidon energy plant. This is obviously quite a large location with multiple levels. We got a sub-basement. We got the roof. That's actually quite a big. You could spend an entire game, couldn't you, in that one location. We got an abandoned vault. So again, this is quite a complex location. There's story elements and hooks in here, so we are going to just go right on past. We don't want to give anything away. But this is obviously incredibly handy for GMs. There's a lot of the work has been done and can of course then be adapted depending if you're playing current campaign. You could fit it in with the current story that you're doing. Maybe just change a couple of elements. Okay, so we're on to chapter 3, new perks. And I always think these are great. I love how everything has its custom graphic for each of them, just like the they have in the video game. So what have we got? We got broken down by our special attributes. We got strength perks, blocker, gladiator. So gladiator, when you are wielding a one-handed melee weapon, increase the weapon's damage by +1. At rank 2, this increases by +2. Up to 3 ranks worth. Got martial artist, pack rat, perception perks, archer, bow before me. When you're wielding a bow or crossbow, the weapon gains the piercing 1 damage effect and adds +1 to the rating of any piercing X damage effect the weapon already had. Oh my goodness. Butcher's bounty. That's pretty gross. We got some endurance perks, being a cannibal, or being fireproof, or ghoulish. Ironclad. These are great. I love it. Charisma perks. You are a bloodsucker. Or happy-go-lucky. Or you have healing hands. Intelligence perks. Power patcher. Or stabilized. Agility, born survivor. When you suffer damage that would reduce your HP to below 1/4 of your maximum HP, you may automatically use a stim pack. Dead man sprinting. Fantastic. See, this is where Fallout's really awesome. Secret agent, yep. We got a mysterious savior, or psychopath. When you kill an enemy, roll a number of dice equal to your rank in this perk. For each effort rolled, regain 1 luck point, up to your maximum luck points. Okay, so we got a fair few there. They were good. Again, I like the inventiveness on perks. They're a lot of fun. Okay, chapter 4, we're on to equipment. And of course, you know, this is what we're looking for out in the Wastelands, isn't it? This is the whole purpose of going out there, wandering, trying to find equipment to survive or to upgrade. So, a few rules here on new damage effects. Going into ammunition. And then straight into the actual weapons themselves. So we're looking at 0.357 Magnum rounds, all the way up to alien power modules, crossbow bolts, plasma cores. And then we get our small guns listing. Black powder blunderbuss, gauze pistols, radium rifles, and then it's going through each of the weapons with a little bit more detail. Goes on to energy weapons, alien atomizer, alien disintegrator, assaultron head. Oh, so maybe if a player character had done the self-destruct, maybe the head survives. Microwave emitter, Tesla rifle. I do like the artwork on these. That's really cool. Big guns, Gatling guns, Tesla cannons, 50 cal machine guns, auto grenade launchers. There is so much, isn't there? And I like the inclusions of the little magazines that are dotted around the Wastelands as well. But in the game, helps you improve your abilities. So crossbows, melee weapons, a Mr. Handy Buzzblade, or a cattle prod. So normally used for herding stubborn cattle, it has been repurposed as a weapon against humans. In addition to the taser-like prongs at the tip normally found on cattle prods, it's been outfitted with a thick electrified metal coil around the striking end, hooked up to a pair of batteries taped down near the handle. And there we go, chainsaw. A motorized tool traditionally used for cutting wood, with a toothed metal chain propelled around the edge of the blade. They serve as a deadly weapon in the right hands, and the effects can be either spectacular or horrific depending on your disposition. Great. It's good stuff, I like it. Ah, Nuka Girl. Energy weapon mods. Okay. Big laser, big gun mods. Did I miss the mods for small guns? Yep. So we can modify our weapons. Small guns can receive armor-piercing receiver or powerful automatic receiver. Energy weapons can have improved automatic barrel, amplified beam splitter, big guns and the Gatling laser, and then we get to clothing and outfits. A beer hat, of course, or a spacesuit helmet. Who wouldn't want a spacesuit helmet? A beer hat, an ordinary hat fitted with pipes and either cup holders or cans connected to a funnel that allows the wearer to enjoy a refreshing drink with their hands free. Outside of combat, you may fill the beer hat with one beverage of your choice. During combat, you may consume that beverage as a minor action rather than a minor action. I think that might have been a misprint. It might be a major action. Good evening, Roger. We're taking a look through the Fallout role-playing game Wanderer'S guidebook. We've just been laughing at the different types of perks that are available, and we're now taking a look at different clothing options, because you want to look your best in the Wasteland. Oh, here we go. Nuka Girl rocket suit. This costume, modelled on the mascot of the Nuka-Cola brand, was released nationwide to retailers in time for Halloween 2062 and was highly sought after. And the great thing about it is MODIPHIUS does do a range of Fallout miniatures, which of course makes things really handy when you are playing your game. So you actually can get hold of Nuka Girl as a miniature. We got stealth armor, legion armor, marine armor. So there's plenty of armor. Wood armor. I guess if there's nothing else, then yeah, you'd go for that, wouldn't you? Different kinds of power armor. So here we go, yep. We've got a T65 power armor. A highly sophisticated form of power armor in use by the remnants of the United States Secret Service, operating from certain strategically important vaults across the Wastelands. I wonder if they will incorporate some of the elements from the TV show into the rules. Roger, have you watched the Fallout TV show? If so, what did you think? So, legendary items. Across the Wastelands there exists unique items of unusual craftsmanship, strange design, rare materials, notorious reputation, odd properties, or some combination of all of these. So, what kind of legendary items can we get hold of? because there's quite a few. You've not watched it yet? It's on the list. Okay, I will not mention anything in that case then that would ruin your enjoyment. So let's have a quick look at this. This is interesting. So the following are properties that can be applied to legendary weapons. Some of these properties can only be applied to a specific type of weapon. Okay. So when a character slays or defeats a legendary creature or a major character, one item in their possession will be a legendary item. A legendary item has a special property. There is an assortment of properties for legendary weapons and pieces of legendary armor presented below. Okay, so these are different abilities that you attribute to either a weapon or an armor, which makes it unique. Ghoul Slayer. A Ghoul Slayer weapon quickly dispatches those necrotic mutants. Against ghouls, attacks with this weapon gain the vicious damage effect. If the weapon is already vicious, then instead it inflicts +2 per effect rolled. Just making that even more deadly for ghouls. Okay, this is cool. And then it's something similar for your armor. Cloaking. Wearing cloaking armor lets you disappear from a fight. Once per scene, when you are hit by a melee attack while wearing this armor, you become invisible. Functions like a stealth boy. Again, a little reference to the core rulebook, so you can easily find that. Rare books and magazines. This is what I was looking for. This is cool. So books and magazines are old pre-war publications which provide information and entertainment to the masses. In the Wasteland, they are a useful source of forgotten or rare information. When you discover a book or a magazine during looting, or when trading with someone else, instead of rolling on the random publication table, you may spend 1 luck point to discover a rare book. A rare book contains a rare perk. Reading the book, taking an hour, grants the character access to a perk which is not normally available to characters when they level up. Aha! So here we go. We have a whole variety of books here. 101 Heroic Last Stands. The Big Book of Science. Dress to Survive. Hot Summer Fashions. The Red Menace Holotape. The Pointy End, a guide to swords. This is great. And so then these are the unique perks that your character might obtain should they find one of these books. I want to find where's that one? Does it have atomic hair? Where was it? Oh, it doesn't seem to have it. Where's the surgical journal? Is that here? I think some of these are just for art benefits. Or maybe they're in the original book. Can't remember now. I like this megaton hair. That's cool. You too can have a hairstyle that looks like a mushroom cloud. So after that, we go to irradiated food. Oh my goodness. Okay. So it's quite a bit here because all the different types of food you might find in the Wasteland. Anything from angler meat to cave cricket meat, lamb chops. That's good. Gulper innards, giant ant meat, gecko meat, Mega Sloth Mushroom Soup. Rad Rat Meat. So rad rats are irradiated and scrawny, but if you know your way around a knife, there's still meat to be had. Rad rat meat can be cooked to make roasted rad rat. So roasted rad rat is slow cooked over a fire. Roasted rad rat is tough, chewy, and leaves a distinctive taste in the mouth. Not necessarily a nice taste, but certainly a distinctive one. Alright, and we got recipe lists. Oh, fantastic. So if we have a cooking station set up, we can make omelettes and honey cakes and hermit crab steak, mutton meat pie, poached angler, roasted rad rat, which we've just seen. We got sections on the various junk that we might find. Animal products and food, household items. Oh, there's lots of those. Oh wow, there's loads. There's loads of household. I guess that's the thing, isn't it? You've got to populate these locations with just stuff because it's all been left. Sporting equipment, science and technology, medical equipment, workplace. These are all items, all available, all to be found. You can salvage component materials from junk items and from other items you wish to dispose of to use them later for repairs and for crafting. So yeah, there's so much. That's cool. So here we go, vehicles. Now, again, I think this must be in Fallout 4. There was no, I don't recall using any vehicles when I played Fallout 3. So this is something new, but I suppose it does make sense. You know, maybe we got to a point now where batteries can still be used, and if we can get hold of some gasoline or some kind of fuel. Saying that though, of course, everything in the Fallout universe is all atomic powered, isn't it? So we just need a power cell. So, operating a vehicle. When you're inside a vehicle, you're referred to as a passenger. Some passengers take on specific roles within the vehicle, referred to as crew. So you could be a pilot, you could be the gunner. And then we have rules for vehicular attacks and ramming. Details on the profile, vehicle profiles, for their speed and their scale. How many passengers they can carry, what weapons. And then what cargo. So it breaks everything down as far as the details of the vehicle, because then we start getting the charts. So common vehicles, we got car, sports car and motorcycle. Ah, and of course this is if you're actually attacking and trying to target a specific location. So you do have the D20 roll. So we got a pickup truck, a bus, an armored truck, personnel carrier, vertibird. Okay, so that's quite a bit. I think I'd like a motorcycle. I think that would help. I'd get around the wasteland a lot quicker with a motorcycle, for sure. Okay. Finally, it's the bestiary. So, modifying creatures and characters, creating legendary creatures. Creating major characters. So we got a lot of additional rules here, but let's jump to the animals and insects. because again, we just get to enjoy all this wonderful artwork. So we have, gosh, an albino rad scorpion. This is the angler. Anglers wait in ambush for prey to come to them. From the Institute of Science. Cave cricket. These carnivorous mutated crickets are pretty good eating, according to locals. Their powerful legs provide rich and lean meat, high in protein and radiation. I love all the little descriptions. Again, it is as if it was a proper guidebook, if you were going out in the wastelands. Cazador, just looks like a big fly. Oh, hey, okay. A Deathclaw matriarch. Yeah, don't want to mess with Deathclaws. Level 20. Floater. Gator Claw. And this is what's great about Fallout. It's got so many different kinds of creatures to encounter. Geckos, giant ants, giant mantis. Glurpers. Descended from salamanders, these slick reptilians can be found anywhere swampy and dank. Preferring to stay near water, these creatures spend much of their time residing in trees. Oh gosh. Hermit crab, but look at that. It's so large now that it's got a small van on its back. Honey beast. A rad rat. Scorch beast. There's so many. So here we go, cryptids. So this is bringing in the more sort of terrifying. So despite the plethora of unique and often terrifying creatures found in the wastelands, some reside in the realms of folklore and myth, at least until proven otherwise. Most cryptids existed before the Great War, with some agencies keeping records on cryptid encounters and sightings, but most were considered tales told by grandparents to scare the local children, or hoaxes. So the Grafton monster. I've not heard of that one. Mega sloth. Mothman. Yeah, so I've heard of this one. This is one I'm aware of. Mothman was reportedly not only sighted but summoned before the Great War. Presently, the followers of the Winged One and the cult of the Enlightened vie for authority over whether the red or fuchsia-eyed visage are the true god. Wise Mothman, vengeful Mothman. Sheep squash. Deep in the mountains of Appalachia, I'm always going to have problems. The sheep squash, Sasquatch, sheep squash, something along those lines. Merge the two together. Stalks along the wooded foothills and valleys of the region. Thought to be a mere myth by most, this creature is shrouded in mystery. I wonder if they have the Jersey Devil. Snallygaster? That's just... ugh. Wendigo? Yeah. A malevolent spirit of hunger and greed. And then mutated humanoids, a feral ghoul roamer. Scorched wanderers. Trog fledgling. These younger trogs are smaller and weaker than those fully grown. Though their mind has long since departed, their bodies remain stronger than a normal human's. Live and Love, issue 10. You won't believe who went. Nuke for Man. The deviant festival that's sweeping the nation. Robots. Colonel Gutsy. Cyberdog and Liberator. And then Super Mutants, the Nightkin. And the Master. Okay. So I think these are some characters from the game. Party Enclave, Augustus Autumn. Commanding Officer of the Capital Wasteland Enclave. Yeah, I think these are special characters. Enclave Tesla Soldier. That power armor's cool. Oh, but that's even better. Frank Horrigan. Looks like a super mutant. Super mutant in power armor. That is going to be scary. And that's basically it. We'll just get to the last few. As you can see, there's plenty of material here to add to your games. And this, of course, all adds so much depth. We've got a sheet there for settlements. So there you go. That is a quick look through the Wanderer'S guidebook for Fallout, the role-playing game from MODIPHIUS Entertainment. I say, if you are watching the Fallout TV show, then you'll probably enjoy this if you are a Fallout fan. As I've said numerous times on the channel, that if you are a fan of these games or books, role-playing games are a good source of enjoying further the fandom, because they provide a wealth of information going beyond what you might have already seen or read. So they're definitely worth adding to your collection. So we're going to continue with our apocalyptic theme this week. On Thursday's show, we are going to be taking a look at Rust and Redemption from Monty Cook Games. So this is a supplement to the Cypher system, and basically it is adding the post-apocalyptic theme to your Cypher system games. So yeah, we're going to go back out into multiple different kinds of wastelands and seeing how we can incorporate them. So that is what we're going to be taking a look at on Thursday night. Hope you'll be able to join me there. Makes you want to go and watch the TV show now, Rogi. Yeah, you definitely want to watch it. It's a good watch for sure. I think you'll enjoy it. And hopefully then the TV show will inspire you to want to take a look at the game and to learn more and to experience the Wasteland firsthand. Right, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday. But until then, bye for now.